Okay, as we enter a whole new trading session, let's take a look at what the US markets did for us overnight. Now, it was a very volatile session for the US markets. We saw huge swings with the Dow was at one point down over 400 points. Then it recovered to nearly lose barely anything at all. It was almost flat. And then again, by the end of the trading session, it was around 200 points lower. So let's just walk you through what they all closed at. The S&P 500 declined 0.8% for its biggest decline in a week. The Dow dropped 130 points at the end of the day, snapping a 4-day winning streak. The Nasdaq fell 1.3% and is now officially entered correction territory once again. It's down more than 10% in the last, let's say, 2 weeks or so. Futures are also currently pretty flat, indicating that the markets might continue to face some pressure, or at least that the rally has definitely cooled off. Dow futures are up just 20 points. S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq futures are also currently dipping slightly into the red to barely flat. So that's how the US markets panned out for you yesterday. Asia, however, and here in India as well, was anticipating this. So we were all also trading in the red yesterday. On the back of that, Asia seems to have recovered a little bit. Japan, the Nikkei added 0.16% in early trade. The Kospi rose 0.4% in early trade. The Topix was up 0.25% in early trade. The S&P ASX 200 was up 0.37% in early trade. So overall, the entire MSCI index was up around 0.3% ex-Japan, which indicates that Asian markets are pretty upbeat this morning. Now, specifically in Japan, what was creating pressure and what was doing well? In Japan, shares of Softbank Group slipped 1.13%. The tech stocks, again, really taking a beating. Sharp also shed 0.45%. In South Korea, Samsung Electronics shed around 0.34%. And Kakao Games was the only one, the recent IPO bucked the trend, which actually managed to gain 0.54%. So that's how the tech stocks are shaping up. We then have Europe, which also had a weak close yesterday. The Pan-European Stock 600 fell 0.4% by the end of the day. Banks over here were the really weak point. The banking index in Europe fell 1.5%, really leading the losses over there. And all your sectors and major bourses ended the day in negative territory. Now, two commodity checks that we always do, oil and gold. The OPEC has decided to take very strict actions against countries who fail to comply with the production cut. So on the back of that, oil prices actually rose 2% on Thursday. Brent oil futures extended their gains to trade up to $43.21 per barrel, and US crude settled 81 cents or 2% higher at around $41 per barrel. Both the contracts rose more than 4% on Wednesday, and then this follow-through action coming in yesterday saw another 2% rise. So oil outlook on the back of OPEC saying that they will firmly follow production cuts, seeing some reprieve. Gold prices unfortunately fell on Thursday. US Fed has dashed investor hopes for more stimulus temporarily. So the spot gold dropped nearly 1% to $1,943 per ounce, and US gold futures fell 1.1% to $1,949 per ounce.